Well, hello, guys. This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, and tonight I have a very special guest rocking a Coca-Cola hat. I've got Patrick, the Trusty Huckster Mercantile, with me tonight for a live sale, and I'm so excited to have you, Patrick.
I'm so excited to be here. This is it's always fun to do a sale on somebody else's channel. I don't really get an opportunity to do that very often, so I'm really excited when you invite me to participate.
Well, it's always a lot of fun. And speaking of a lot of fun, I am so excited to announce some scheduling changes. So, for all of you guys that are joining in tonight early for the sale, you get a special announcement. If you notice tonight's a sale and not a show and tell. And that's because Patrick and I have been cooking up something fun, and we're actually going to be combining our shows. So we are going to start doing something called Duo Dives, and that's going to be every Wednesday at 9:30 on this channel. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to show you what we've been working on. I've got a really fun logo that my best friend Frank designed for us. So this is the official Duo Dive logo, and this series will kick off next week. So I'm so excited about that. Patrick, thank you so much for doing this with me. I think this is going to be fun.
I do too. I think it's one of those cases. I've been doing deep dives for about a year now, and really, got really heavy into them at the early parts of COVID and through last year. And it became a scheduling issue to try and pop them on because they're always on Sunday nights, and that's a difficult time for everybody. And you started doing the show and tells, and I know that those were really popular. And and just for everyone's knowledge, Katie and I, we had talked. She didn't want to step on my toes. That I did not feel that show and tell was any sort of challenge to deep dive. That they were a very nice combination, and so they were such a good combination that we suddenly realized we were sharing people. So some people that didn't feel comfortable coming on to my channel for a deep dive because they didn't want to be looked at like as an expert, they then went on to Katie's as a show and tell, and then vice versa. Some people like had really good knowledge and deep knowledge. They want to go a deep dive. Well, we don't need to split it. So we're going to put it into a duo dive. And so those will now be on Katie's channel. So this time next week, we're going to do our first actual duo dive. So this sale's kind of an announcement. But that means I'm going to have a gap on my schedule because I've been doing the deep dives and my stuff on Sunday nights. So we're going to have another scheduling change and programming change on my channel, which also involves Katie, because since I'm going to be hopping on, and Katie and I will alternate hosting the duo dive. On Sundays, we are going to alternate hosting Tales from the Triptych, where we're going to do a version of a deep dive, a version of a duo dive, a version of a show and tell, where instead of showing live items that we have, we're actually going to be going online and looking at auction catalogs and museums websites and maybe doing some eBay and some Etsy exploration, see prices. But if you paid attention, Tales of the Triptych means there is 3 people. So we need a third person. And who else would we ask, Katie? Tell everyone, who is our third person?
Mr. Nate from New Zealand.
He's Kiwi Nate
joining us. Yay!
We are going to have Nate on our channel every Sunday. We're going to rotate between the 3 of us. We are going to do Tales of the Triptych, and each one of us are going to pick a different topic. And the first one will be this Sunday, which I will be hosting. And what I will be doing is taking an expansion of the video that I did for the Cambridge Glass Museum. I'll show bits and pieces of that video, show some stuff on the Cambridge website, look into some of the stuff that Cambridge talks about, and then kind of go into the real world of eBay and Etsy and whatever sites I can find to say, okay, what's available out there? What are the real prices for Cambridge glass? So we can kind of get what we're hoping is that the Tales of the Triptych will be a broader approach because you're not limited by what you have in your hands. So we're really excited by this. And I know that'll be the first topic will be Cambridge glass, but we've got a couple exciting topics that Katie is scheduling and what Nate's scheduling. We're going to be able to see a lot. So very excited by all this.
I am. I'm so excited about this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Two different shows, but they're going to be something you can look forward to during the week, and they will all be live, rotating channels, and we'll keep you updated on Instagram which channel is going to have what on what night. But you can always look for it on Wednesday nights at 9:30 and Sunday at 8 o'clock. So it will be same familiar time slot, just different programming. So let's say hello to some folks joining in the chat. And I see people are very excited about Tales from the Triptych, so that will be fun. I see Chad joining in, Shop Retro Days. Thank you, Chad. Shannon is coming back. She was in my brooch premiere earlier. Thank you so much, Shannon. And Carrie, welcome, welcome.
No fez.
No, but a cool Coca-Cola hat. That's just awesome.
What do you call these, Katie? What are the?
I call them a soda jerk hat.
I'm a jerk, that's for sure. All right, so we got our soda jack. I've got the jaunty angle going now. All right.
Yes, it's just perfect. Yeah, you look like you've got the Sprite Boy angle going on. We got Peterson tuning in. Welcome, Peterson. Thank you so much. We got the other Katie. I love Katie tuning in. It's so good to have another Katie in the chat. We got Barbie, Punk Funk and Junk here. Welcome, Barbie. Myra from Buying Space, a fellow Jacksonville person, is in the chat. Welcome, Myra. And Dalbert is here, proud American, probably going to keep us laughing throughout the evening in the chat. Kurt J is tuning in. Welcome, welcome, Kurt. I think you're my fellow vinyl friend in the chat. Welcome. Jay Goodwin is here. Nate. Now, Nate deserves a big round of applause because he always helps us with the sales and does a fantastic job. Nate and Peterson both are on top of it in the chat. So thanks, guys, so much for your help tonight. And Nate will be the one announcing winners. So do make sure you look out for Nate's comments. What his word is in New Zealand is final. And so that will be our guide tonight for the winners of the sale. Vinny is tuning in. Yes, it kind of does look like a Yellow Submarine revival. I love the work that Frank did. He is so talented, my friend Frank. And Janine is tuning back in, or Jean Marie, I think maybe is how you say your name. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Sue Raspberry is tuning in. Welcome, Sue. Thank you so much. And Love in Circles, I'm so glad you're back for the sale. You were joining my brooch premiere, and I think you're new to me, so I'm so glad you're in the community. Welcome. Annette Fain is here. Book Bewitched is tuning in. Brian from the Chicagoland area. Welcome, Brian. Sonia M is coming in. Welcome, Sonia. My flea market treasures. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Mel is coming in all the way from Finland. I'm so glad you're here, Mel. And Helen Casey and lots of other folks in the chat. Jamie's here. And I think a lot of people are enjoying the Duo Dive and Tales from the Triptych. Welcome, Val. Thank you so much. Got a lot of chatter. I'm scrolling through. People are so excited about this. And it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be so interesting. There's so many cool things to learn and to discover. And Kathy, First Stop Shop, is tuning in. Welcome, Kathy. Tia Fain is here. Thank you so much, Tim. And anybody else that I missed, Kitschy Corner, I saw you go by, Gabrielle White and Pat. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Claudia, the chat just jumped really fast. As you know, in StreamYard, it does. So I'm sorry if I missed anyone, but thank you all for tuning in tonight for the sale. Now, tonight is a live sale, and this works pretty much like every other live sale that you're used to, except for this is a first to claim sale, so there will be no auctions, offer ups, or just in cases. The first person to type in the number will get the item, and it's what Nate sees in New Zealand. He's going to type that into the chat. Now, Patrick and I are shipping separately, so we cannot combine shipping because I'm in Florida and Patrick is in Illinois, so there's no way to make that happen. So if you do win an item tonight, please make sure that you email me and Patrick for the items that you won. And my email is down in the description box. Patrick's is on the screen. Every bit of information you need to know about the sale is listed in the description box. And, of course, Patrick's channel. So if you're not subscribed to Patrick, I'd be shocked, but definitely go do that. He's got some great content. Of course, also make sure that you are in live chat, not top chat. That is very important. So you're seeing all the chat happening and you're not getting just segments of the chat. And refreshing often really is the best way to claim an item so that you're up to date with the feed. So thank you so much, Nate. He's putting in all of the information in the chat. I appreciate that. And Edward, thanks so much for joining tonight. I'm glad you're here. And of course, Peterson is doing a great job, and that is true. If you purchase anything tonight, again, please email your real name, YouTube name, shipping address, and PayPal email to the email of the seller on the screen. And I will change my screen name here so that I have the email back on the screen for you guys. So Patrick, thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm going to let you go first since you're my guest. And we're going to kick things off with Patrick's first item.
All right. Well, happy to be here. And there have been comments thinking that the way this looks, it's a fez. So I'm going to make sure that people see it is actually a soda jerk hat. But that does make me wonder, should I have different styles of hats? I'm going to have a hat when I'm on Katie's channel. So don't get used to this all the time. But I do have a cowboy hat. So who knows? Who knows what'll show up next? So, all right. Well, we've got my first item coming up. This is the way I usually start. If you're not familiar to my channel, Katie and I do our sales in the same way. We do not do offer ups. It's the item that you see, give the price that we give is what you pay, and then we tell you the number. Difference is when I do a mystery box, not only do I tell you one of the items in the mystery box, which is always a vintage maxi pad, new in box, new old stock. My mystery boxes have been very popular. They always work the same way. They're $15. I will put about $25 to $30 worth of merchandise in it, but I will custom pack it based on where I'm shipping. So if it has to go to California, it'll be lighter weight. It'll still have the same value, but it'll just be lighter weight stuff. If you're more local, you might get some heavy stuff. So it would always be worth about 25, 30 bucks. They're so popular that instead of giving you the price or giving you the item number, I make you guess the item number. So everyone get your keypads ready. You can guess more than one number because I'm going to give you the range. So you have to guess the number. And what I'm doing for this sale is the first 2 people that guess the correct number will win one of the mystery boxes. So tonight, the mystery box number falls between 60 and 70, between 60 and 70. So the first 2 people to give the proper number, which Nate already knows and he is watching for, first 2 people will get my mystery box. And I already see the number from somebody.
And Nate cannot be bribed.
Nope.
Patrick is in Illinois. Okay.
Yes, I'm outside Chicago, so I'll be shipping from the suburbs of Chicago. And
I already see the number 2 right out of the gate. People are fast with this. You guys have some mental telepathy going on with Patrick.
And I've seen it multiple times. I've got at least 2 people that have guessed it, but we got to wait for Nate to see what he sees.
Yes, always got to wait for Nate because sometimes StreamYard can be funky and it doesn't show the correct order because all the numbers are coming in so fast at one time. Oh, Carrie's saying, rumor has it that Nate can be bribed with Tonala. maybe Tonala and slag glass or Wedgwood and silver. Okay, still waiting for Nate. And yes, the mystery box goes to Jennifer Miller and Barbie Punk Funk and Junk.
Because it was number 67. So thank you so much. Congratulations to both Jennifer and Barbie.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so the first item that I have tonight is a really adorable children's book, and this is so cute. This is 1-2 Cock-a-Doodle-Doo, and I love these little Rand McNally books. I bought one over Christmas time that has a little mouse. It's the Christmas mouse, and it's such a cute story. This is absolutely adorable. Now, this is copyrighted 1943. In the bottom, and look at the graphics on this book. Isn't it amazing? Now, there is a little bit of wear to the spine up at the top, but overall, this book is in pretty good shape for its age. And you've got this amazing inside. Look at the little bunnies and the deer and the pig. How cute is that? Now, this has some fun rhymes, and this is counting. So you're learning to count in this book. You've got the lamb there, and it says counting, count 1, counting is fun. 1-2 Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. Now, there is a little tear on some of the pages, but it really doesn't affect the reading of the book. Then it says 1, 2, 3, come play with me. And you've got the squirrels. And then there's a few other ones that are really fun. So the book kind of changes over, and it starts over counting again when you get halfway through the book. And this one says 1, 2, 3, 4 lollipops at the candy store. How cute are the graphics in this? And this one says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's fun to swim and dive. And you've got the little ducks. Now there is one page that is coming loose from the book, but all the other pages are intact. And this one says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See the cookies on the cookie plate. And then if you flip through the book, they've got some adorable little graphics with pigs. So let me show you this one. 8 little pigs with curly tails dug in the sand with shovel and pails. So it goes through the book counting. You've got all the pages there and all the really cool graphics. This book is from 1943. It is a Rand McNally book, and overall in great condition. It's just so adorable. And this little book can be yours for only $8. $8 for the Rand McNally book by giving me number 14. $8, number 14 for the 1-2 Cock-a-Doodle-Doo.
The inside cover illustrations of that book were so cute. Like just even propping that open on a little stand just to show that would be kind of cool.
It
All
really
right.
would be.
So as we announced for my first mystery box, went to Jennifer Miller and Funkin' Junkin' Barbie. So again, congratulations. Going to try to just remember to announce who won what. So when I'm going to be on Katie's channel, not only do I need to wear my best headpiece, but I also have to sell a brooch. And I don't come across brooches very often, but this is one that I actually included in my Instagram channel. And one of the more astute viewers, and more astute than I did, recognized, okay, it's got a Spanish look to it. It's got a flamenco dancer with the big flamenco dress. It is an older piece. It has just the simple C hook on it, and the pin it sticks out significantly past the edge of it. So those were both indications of an older piece. I was told it was probably from Toledo, Spain. But what the person that was the most aware recognized is the man is missing his head. So we have the headless flamenco dancer, so perfect for Halloween. The enamel that would have formed his face is gone. So I tried to see if I can get a better picture. It's hard to get it on the camera or using the brooch itself. But you can see I did not even notice this. So he still has his hat. He just doesn't have his face. So we're going a little Amish. The Amish flamenco dancer can't have his face represented. So I was disappointed. So it definitely still has some age, and really from a distance, no one would know that you have a headless flamenco dancer, but it does have damage, and I don't like having damage, but I like selling really cool pieces. So I am selling the flamenco dancers for $4. So $4 for the decapitated dancing flamenco head, or well, I guess the flamenco body. He's only $4. I think it still look great. And hey, you've got a conversation piece. Where is his head? $4. Number 55. $4.55 for the headless flamenco dancer brooch. Bring back the brooch.
Absolutely, Patrick. And that is an amazing piece. I love the age to that. How beautiful is that? Now, my last item, the Cock-a-Doodle-Doo book from 1943, went to Jean Rowell. So thank you so much, Jean, for your purchase. Now, the next little lot I have for you is just adorable. And I think that some of these are weighed, and then some of them are just really cool little figurines. So we're going to have a monkey lot. And who doesn't love little monkeys? And the first little monkey is a weighed figurine. Now, weighed figurines were manufactured in Stoke-on-Trent. That's what it's called now. Of course, earlier it was something else. And they came in Red Rose tea. Now, in 1983, that's when Red Rose tea started giving these away, and the tea as premium giveaways. So you've got this adorable little ape. I think he's an ape. He's the monkey from on top of the Empire State Building. I can't think of the monkey. Yes, King Kong. Thank you. And he is 1.5 inches. So you're going to get this little guy. He's in perfect condition. Yes, there you go. He is so beautiful. I love the detail to him. And then you're going to get 2 little larger monkeys, and they are so cute. So this guy's smiling. I just love him. He's so happy. He's kind of in a celadon green color. And look at the detail to him. Isn't he just adorable? He's got no chips or cracks either. Now, he's a little bit bigger in comparison. So he measures to be about 2 inches. So you're going to get him. And then you're also going to get this little guy in this beautiful blue color. Now, he's a thinker monkey. He's really thinking hard about something.
Thinker, anger, whatever. That
Yeah.
arched eyebrow.
He may be a little bit angry too. He might be mad at the other monkey for being famous in a movie and he lost out on a role. You can make up whatever story you want about this little guy, but he is about 2.5 inches tall. So he's got a nice size. So you're going to get this whole little lot of adorable monkey figurines. One I know is weighed. I'm not sure the others are weighed. They could be, but they look a little large to be weighed. They are adorable. So for your instant monkey collection, you can have the monkey lot for only $8. $8 for the monkey lot by giving me number 3. $8, number 3 for the adorable little monkeys.
I love that you did that because I like to do that too. It's that whole idea of the instant collection because, a lot of people probably didn't wake up this morning thinking, hey, I need to have these ceramic monkeys in my life. But now you don't have one, you have 3. Because you only had one, you'd be weird. Now you have a collection. So now you are a collector. So awesome little lot. I do wonder if those larger ones are weighed. But I don't think they'd be weighed whimsies, but I know that they did some other animals too. So that'd be interesting. Okay, my last item, the fan brooch, went to Love in Circles, Suzu's. And I think I remembered seeing in the chat, and I couldn't find it again. I think you said that that's a new name. So I don't know if you're new to me or if I know you from your old name. So just make sure you drop me an email so I know who you are and where I'm shipping to. Because again, all of the items tonight, the prices do not include shipping. So we need to figure out where we're shipping to get the proper invoice. And once you pay the invoice, we will ship. And I typically, there's my hat. I typically get my invoices out over the weekend. So, if you don't have it by Saturday or by Sunday, you can start wondering what happened to me. Excuse me while I try and be a jerk again. There we go. All right, my next item. I actually happen to have 2 of these. So this will be, again, the first 2 to claim. It is a new old stock Dr. Bloomer's high-grade flavoring extracts. They're both artificial almond, 50% alcohol. This is for flavoring ice cream, jellies, cakes, pies, etc. Contains half a pint from the Lincoln Chemical Works in Chicago. So this has, if you can see if I kind of like squeeze it, it becomes the shape of the box. But it's new old stock because if you look at where it would have been folded to make the box, it's never been folded. So, if you want to fold it and turn it into a box, it'd make a great item for display because if you consider it, it'd be a fairly decent size. You'd be talking about probably about 7 inches tall. So it'd be a nice little vertical display if you're making a vignette for your kitchen, for older kitchen pieces. The box itself isn't marked, but I don't know. I would say the graphics on this, we're probably looking maybe 30s or 40s. What do you think, Katie?
Yeah, I would say 40s with that.
Yeah, so it's got, it's just a simple print, but it's got some really nice script in there. So Laura could probably tell me what font this is. Or no, Mary Beth could tell me what font this is from Fatbird Finds. But it's a cool little piece. I happen to have 2 of them. They're both in identical condition. They're just $5 each. So $5 for the extract box, $5 by giving me number 70. $5, number 70 for Dr. Bloomer's flavoring extract.
Gosh, Patrick, the graphics on that is incredible. I have a typewriter 10 similar to that from the 40s with that same script going around the word typewriter. And I think that's just so cool. So awesome lot that you have there. Now, the next item I have is pretty special, and I have a story about these. Now, I picked these up from a local gentleman in town. I'm going to show you what they are. They are kitchen utensils, but these are not your average kitchen utensils because these have a very cool story. Now, I met a man named Mr. Allen, and he told me all about his wife that recently just passed away. He had a lot of things for sale, and he called her Honey Bun, which I think is so sweet. They were married over 50 years, and he worked at CSX, which is a train place. Of course, you guys all know about CSX, but the headquarters are here in Jacksonville. And his wife loved to entertain. She wore wigs. She was really into fashion. She had all these amazing sweaters, and she loved to cook. So this is from her personal kitchen gadget lot. She had a whole bunch of kitchen gadgets. She loved them. She collected them. And these two pieces are from the 50s. This one's from 1959. It is an Echo tomato slicer, and look at the graphics on this. Is this not so cool? Now, it does have a little wear, but the tomato slicer itself is in absolutely perfect condition. So this is something that you can definitely still use in your kitchen. Now, this has the red handle on it, and of course, there's some wear on the red handle, but I wanted this lady's memory to live on. So I wanted to share these things with you guys so that you can have them in your kitchen and know all about Mr. Allen's wife and her love for cooking. So you've got the tomato slicer. It does onions, butter, cheese, eggs, and cucumbers. Ugh, cucumbers. That's the only thing. I'm not a big fan of cucumbers. And then it's got the instructions for use on the back. There's the copyright date, 1959, Echo. My grandmother remembers using Echo. I think she had quite a few of their kitchen utensils. And then this one actually did have the top cut off, but it is so useful. This is for slicing and making all kinds of things. So you can curl butter, you can garnish vegetables, it does decorative potatoes and carrots, opens bottles, it balls melons, pierces cans, grooves butter. I mean, this just does everything. So you could keep the packaging, which is pretty cool, or you can take it out, and it's brand new. It's never been used. It's got the cool little star graphics on the front. So these two sitting up next to each other would be so cool in a little kitchen display. Or you can actually practically use this, which I think would be awesome if you hosted a vintage themed party and you had your little curled butter and your little things all set out on your vintage dishware. It would just be fun. And what a great way to remember Alan's wife. So for the little kitchen lot, you can have it for only $10. $10 for the kitchen tool lot from the 50s by giving me number 7. $10, number 7 for the kitchen tool lot.
I love that that one piece still had the sleeve on it, because if I just saw that in the wild, I would not have thought that it could be used for all those extra things. Like I would have assumed egg cutter, which it did include egg, but the same item that could cut an egg, I wouldn't think it'd be strong enough to cut a cucumber. So I guess it was pretty well made. So those, and that's cool that you had new old stock in the other one too. So, all right. So that looks like it's fairly popular. Had quite a few people going for that one. I did not have any takers on my almond extract box. So that is still available, propped up in the back. And I'll show that later at the end when things didn't sell. Like most people, I did do a Christmas in July sale back in July, but I had far more items than could be sold during that. And one of them is popping up here. So I've got this little set of the needle. Let's see. So these would be considered, they're saying they're just cross stitch. Now there was a debate on whether things were counted cross stitch or just cross stitch. To me, the mesh does not appear to be painted on or printed on. So I think this qualifies as counted cross stitch. My ex-wife used to do this, and she did the one without having the colors printed on the fabric. So I've only seen the edge, but I'm thinking that you have to count this one. So you've got, they're all part of a set. So you've got a teddy bear riding a sled. You have a teddy bear. I don't know what that teddy bear is doing. Evidently, oh, it's an angel. I was saying, it looks like the teddy bear's dead. So we've got the angel teddy bear with, I have no idea, a heart. I think he's holding something. I'm not
Maybe
sure.
a balloon.
Oh wait, it goes all the way across his chest. So it's like a long pole with a heart on top. So I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
Or a kite.
Oh, maybe that's the string to the kite. Okay, I guess angels need to do something up there. And then this one is little teddy bear with the little reindeer hobby horse, I think is what those are called, with the horse head on a stick. So, Godfather horse with the stick. So you've got the Dale Burdett. I don't know if that's a thing, but they're all from Dale Burdett Productions. These are all from the 80s. So you've got it comes with a little frame, and they're all new old stock. They're all completely sealed. So it has the fabric with the pattern in here. And then Yeah, and they're all kind of like puffy, so you get the thread too. So you can see the thread on this one. So you get all 3 of these for $10. And they're super lightweight to ship, so shipping will be first class mail. So $10 for all 3 for the Christmas cross stitch by giving me number 85. $10, 85 for the set of Conda cross stitch.
Those are so fun, Patrick. I think if for little Christmas gifts, you could make them and give them to someone, or you could give the kits out as little fun crafts to do at Christmas. I think that's a lot of fun. Now, Lemmy Lemon did get my previous item, the monkey lot, and then I want to thank Leanne C. I will get that, Leanne, eventually. Leanne C. for picking up the fun little kitchen lot. Now, I am going to continue on the kitchen lot theme, and I have some really cool salt and pepper shakers for you. Now, I think that this little guy is a cucumber or maybe a pickle. Anyway, it's just so fun. I love these little salt and pepper shakers because they're so whimsical, and I love the garden theme. And then you're going to get a carrot. So you've got the carrot here. Now, this carrot does have a little wear to its top, but there's nothing too major, and that's something that if you had some watercolor paint, you could touch this up. There is a little bit of wear here, but again, if you put that to the back, you're really not going to notice that. The nice thing about these is they both have their corks. Now, this one's got its original cork, and you can see it says Japan on the bottom. This one has a replacement stopper, but it is still there. It works just fine. You can get a cork stopper if you want them to match, but it's got a little rubber stopper. And this one also says Japan. So they both say Japan. They are in really great shape for their age. Now, notice these don't say made in Japan, so they're not 1940s old, but I would think that these are definitely from the 50s, and their holes are still there. Now, this one has, I'm just noticing this, they both have 3 holes. So I think that these are both actually pepper shakers, but it really doesn't matter because we're using these for display anyway. I mean, these would be great in a little vignette, something for summer, for spring, or you just have a little fun kitchen vignette with a whole bunch of different vegetable salt and pepper shakers. Or you could be like Vinny and buy one of those RCA vintage shelves and display them all lined up in little pairs. I think that would be so fun. So you can have these Japan vegetable salt and pepper shakers for only $10. $10 if you give me number 13. $10, number 13 for the vegetable salt and pepper shakers.
All right, and my last item, number 85, the set of Christmas cross-stitch sets kits went to Susical. So thank you so much, Susical, for picking those up. And staying on the theme of kitchen salt and pepper shakers, I showed these in a haul video, and I've decided to go ahead and put them in as a pair, these cobalt blue glass salt and pepper shakers. So they have the aluminum lids, which seem to cause some disagreement on the age of these pieces. Some felt that these were a later reproduction, but then some people pointed out that these aluminum tops were thin, so this would have been the original, from an older set. I do not know, so I'm leaving that to your choice because the fact of the matter is they are simply beautiful cobalt blue glass. Now, this one does have a little bit of a dent up on the top compared to the other one. Number of holes. Actually, these both have the same number of holes, so I don't know what that means for salt or pepper. I'll say that they have use it for salt. There's gonna be a lot of salt coming out of here. And then this one has, so I should show the design. So this one kind of has a simple arched design on all 4 sides, is somewhat rounded with a rounded base, but you kind of have these paneled sides. And then the taller ones have a more intricate floral design, and then has a really nice, cut in the sides of the top of the glass and a little bit of a shape to the foot as well. And you can see there's also molded leaf design in the bottom. So you get both sets. You get the pair of the tall and the pair of the short. They're not a huge difference, but there is a slight difference in height. You get all 4 of them, 2 pair, for $12. $12 for the 2 pair of cobalt blue glass salt and pepper shakers, $12 by giving me number 87. $12, 87 for the 2 pair of cobalt blue.
And I think the tall one, Patrick, might be Anchor Hawking Mayfair Rose.
Okay.
Open rose, I think is the pattern on that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I really do. Those are beautiful, Patrick, and I love the possibilities of those cobalt blue shakers. They're so cool. Now, the next item I have is really awesome. This is some amazing vintage Christmas, and I almost kept this, you guys. It took everything in my power not to keep it because this is so amazing. This is a new old stock glistening starburst holiday decor in the package. Now, this is incredibly awesome. Now, I did do some research online, and to be honest, there aren't many of these still available. I think probably because these kinds of things got thrown away after a while. They weren't meant to survive, but this is just so cool. So what you do with this is if you choose to take it out of the package, which I don't know that I would because I love the packaging at the top, you can open it up like this and then pull the little tab and it folds open into a glistening starburst. Now, this does have a zip code. So this is after 1963. Now, I've talked about this a lot, but zip codes really are an amazing way to date things because the 5-digit zip code became wildly used in 1963. Before that, they had 2-digit zip codes for large cities, so think like New York and LA, but that was in 1948. So we know this is after 1963. It is so cool. The packaging is in amazing shape for its age. There's no tears or rips to the top. I love the holly berry design going around. And then you've got the packaging here. Now, there is a little bit of dirt to the outside of this packaging, and I didn't want to clean it because I didn't want any water to get on this paper cardboard top. So I'm going to leave that up to you. You can still hang it. You can actually punch the little hanger here if you choose and hang it up, or you can open it and actually use it. But this is just the coolest piece of Christmas I've seen in a while. It is so cool. So you can have the glistening Christmas starburst for only $10. $10 by giving me number 4. $10, number 4 for the awesome holiday new old stock starburst.
All right, I absolutely give you credit for not ripping that package open. I mean, I'm very big into the new old stock too, but that just based on that little illustration up at the top, I think that's going to look so cool opened up. And I don't think I'd be able to hang the bag on my tree. I think I'd be wanting to hang that big starburst thing. So that's pretty cool. My last item, the Cobalt Salt and Pepper Shakers, went to Sue Raspberry. So thanks so much, Sue, for picking those up. I don't have, trying to like do a little stream of consciousness theming with Katie, and I really don't have anything. Oh, no, wait, you know what I do? I have something that's new old stock also. So I will show my next item will be the new old stock because I think that is a thing. And I think there is value to something when it is still in its original packaging. And some people do really appreciate that. One of Katie's show and tells about a month or two ago, she had me on to show a collection of cake toppers that I had picked up. So it was not my personal collection. It was literally a gigantic collection that I picked up for resale. And I've just been slowly peppering those into either my eBay channel or onto my live sales. And here is one of them. So tonight I have not just one, I actually have 2 of these little Wilton Fireman cake toppers still in their original hang tag from Kitchen Capers. Fun in the kitchen, food and cake decorating supplies, again with the zip code. So these would have come out after 1963. Sometimes the price can help you a little bit, $1.59. This is probably, I would say, late 70s, maybe 80s, based on what he's wearing. But you do have the short coat, but the big red fire helmet, and then not really sure what he's got around his neck, if that's a red shirt or if that's something, not sure if that is indicative of anything in particular, but you could totally picture this on a little boy's birthday cake, you know, what these would have originally been sold for. But now, whether you keep him in his original hang bag, or you take him out, he would just be a great addition to any sort of display, you know, even around 9/11, any sort of fireman in the family. You know, you just don't come across these anymore. And it is just a great little piece of vintage. So I happen to have 2 of these. So there's another case that the first 2 people that would like this, you can grab a original fireman cake topper in its original packaging from Kitchen Capers for $7. So $7 for the fireman, $7 by giving me number 76. $7.76 for the first 2 people that want Mr. Fireman.
That is amazing, Patrick. And I was so glad you got to do that on Show and Tell. That is such a fun little collection. And those firemen are probably something you don't see a lot of, being that they're vintage firemen. I just love that. Now, my last item I want to thank, let me double check my list here. Nate sent that over to me. Let's see, I've got the Starburst here. Where'd you go, Starburst? I had you. Laura Ann. Congratulations, Laura Ann, for picking up the Christmas Starburst. That is amazing. Now, the next item I have for you is a set of vintage postcards, and I'm hoping that a lot of you guys will like these. These are linen postcards, and they're all new old stock from Washington, D.C. So this one features the Capitol building, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. These have never been written on, which is amazing, other than you can see the original price tag of $1. So at some point, these were probably sold as souvenirs, you know, in one of those postcard racks when you were visiting DC. It says the United States Capitol for the heir of Washington. This one has also the U.S. Capitol, and you can tell that they're linen because they've got that texture, that beautiful linen paper. Now, this one is actually made by Capsico Products. It's a Capitol souvenir company that made all kinds of products for souvenirs coming out of DC. And this has the line down the middle, so I do know that these are newer. They're not super old, but probably from the 60s, I would imagine. And then you have this one also featuring the Capitol. These are just begging to be framed because I think they're so beautiful. That linen texture with a really cool linen mat would just be amazing. Or even in a flower frog, these would be awesome. And I love that this card, you can see the cherry blossoms here, which is so DC to me. And then you've got this postcard, which was manufactured by the Scenic Art Series out of Reynolds, Washington. And then this one also features the Capitol, but this one you've got the fountain in front of the Capitol on the National Mall. This one is, let's see who manufactured this one, Genuine Churchick Chicago Postcards, Scenic Series. There you go, Patrick, some Chicago for you. Beautiful postcard. Now this one is vertical, and this one was $1. And then you have this one here, which is Beautiful Fountain on Capitol Plaza by night. Look at that. Isn't that just amazing? It looks like a watercolor or something done in crayons. I just think this is gorgeous. So you're going to get the whole lot of linen DC postcards. These would be so fun, framed. Or if you're going to junk journal with them, don't tell me, but they would be good for junk journaling too. There's many possibilities with these old postcards, and they can be yours for only $7. $7 for the Washington, D.C. postcards by giving me number 9. $7, number 9, for the whole instant collection of DC postcards.
Or for your ephemerable, of course. So
ephemerable, yes. How could I forget an ephemerable?
How can you forget the ephemerable? You created the concept. So there's a great video on my channel that I had Katie talking about how helping me create an ephemerable. So she has a great one. She's the only person I'd ever heard talking about them, and now it is the thing to do. And I have an ephemerable of my own sitting in my travel collection, and it has some postcards in it. And I will say the one postcard that you showed with the cherry blossoms might be older than you think, because the cherry blossom trees looked short, and trees were donated to DC back in the Taft administration. So that's like 1910. For them to still be that short, that might be more like a 30s postcard. I'm not 100% sure, but the fact that those trees are massive now, and so the fact, I don't know how quickly cherry trees grow, but I'm thinking that might be older than we think. So
yes, I never thought about looking at the tree height. That's a good suggestion, Patrick.
One of those, there's one of the like most useless facts that I carry around with me. I am from Illinois. As my daughter was growing up, of course, we had to visit Springfield, the capital. And when you're in Springfield, you visit the house of Abraham Lincoln, and the people. That's part of the I guess the Park Service or whatever the the national system that protects all these different monuments. So they take it very seriously, and they are trying to replicate that home to a specific window in time of when he lived there. And so what they were doing, now I don't know if they're still doing this with economic issues, but whatever. But when our daughter was really little, what they were doing at that time is every between 5 or 10 years, they would dig up the trees in front of his house because they were getting too big and they were not representative of the shade that would have been issued into that home during the time he lived there. And so they literally would put in shorter trees. I thought that was the most bizarre way of replicating reality. So, you know what? Sometimes watching those tree heights can be a big deal. All right, my next, so this number 76, the Fireman Cake Topper, I did have 2 of them. I had one get claimed by Book Bewitched, so I do have, the other one is still available. So it is going to sit up here if anyone would still like number 2. The Cake Topper Fireman is still available. I'm sure they, Jamie, I'm sure they planted the trees someplace else because they were probably pretty valuable at that point because they were like 10-year-old trees. But yes, it was kind of a waste of time and resources. So not quite in the new old stock category. But we do have something that was taken exceptionally good care of to the point that is basically in the condition it might have been if it were new old stock. It is a Hallmark Raggedy Ann and Andy centerpiece. So it has been opened. So I have a feeling that this is something that either was retained by the family to like bring out each year, or maybe they bought it once, used it once, put it back in the little envelope, and then it's been in this envelope ever since because it is absolutely pristine condition. It is copyrighted on the bottom in 1974, which is pretty much what you would expect for Raggedy Ann and Andy. But they are all the pieces are in here, and they're all in absolutely pristine condition. So you've got the little pop-up of Raggedy Ann. You have the little pop-up of Raggedy Andy holding a little punch cup. Because if you look on the front, you can see there's one of those little honeycomb tables with table toppers, and they're having a little tea party or punch party because their tea's purple. But you know, if you're a walking doll, I guess you can have purple tea. And then inside is all the little pieces. You've got the little cupcake, but you've got the little honeycomb table base in pristine condition. So if this was ever opened, it was only opened once and then put away because it's still kind of crisp as I open it up. It still has the little clips on there to be able to hold it in place. So you've got the table base, you've got the little card or the gift table thing, you've got the tabletop that goes on it. It also came with this, which I don't even know if this is part of it. It looks kind of like this should be in a shirt collar, but it was in this, so maybe it helps keep the table together. I don't know. The cupcake, and then at the very bottom is the other cupcake, and incoming, and the juice glass. So I think we've got three cupcakes and the juice glass. So all of the pieces are here. It all folds flat. It's very lightweight. I'll have to find a big envelope, but it's very lightweight to be able to ship. And it's not new old stock, but it's in absolutely pristine condition. So you can get the Raggedy Ann and Andy tabletop centerpiece for $8 for Raggedy Ann and Andy centerpiece by giving me number 96. $8.96 for the Hallmark 1974 centerpiece.
Wow, you just don't see those kinds of things in the condition that's in. That's amazing, Patrick. That honeycomb is so crisp. Very, very cool. Now, the next item that I have for you is a little incense dish, but I think you could use this for your pins, your rings, whatever it is that you want to add to this. And this is a little brass zodiac dish. So you've got all the zodiacs going around the outside, and it says made in Korea on the back. I think that this is so cool. This has a really nice weight to it, so it's going to sit nicely for your incense. Now, you can get one of those little incense burners that have the little tower and stick your incense down inside and then put that inside this dish so that when it burns, it falls into the dish, as opposed to just having it fall over the table, which is kind of a mess. But this is great for that. You can also put your rings in here, like I said. If you wanted just a little dish for something like that on your dresser, your nightstand, it would be so perfect. And if you're into the whole zodiac thing, this would be really great for you. This dish measures about 4¼ inches wide. So it is a nice wide size, but it doesn't take up too much room on your table. There's a little bit of denting to the dish here on the side, but I think that kind of adds to its character and uniqueness. It's something that's vintage, that tells a story, and it's got some age to it. So this brass zodiac dish can be yours for only $12. $12 for this zodiac dish by giving me number one. $12, number one for the zodiac dish.
I love when old pieces represent the zodiac because I always look for my own. And so for all of you who are October birthdays and are the fellow Libras, you know what I'm talking about. The Libra representation on anything zodiac is so freaking boring because it's the scale. So it's not a cool fish. It's not a cool crab. It's not, some shooting arrow person. It's a scale. So usually tends not to be all that exciting, but I do kind of live my life as a Libra. I feel very big into balance. That's why I'm the trusty huckster. It works for me. So anyway, my last item, the Raggedy Ann centerpiece, went to number 96, went to Lemmy Lemon. So thank you, Darlene, for picking that up. If you follow me on Instagram, I post some of the items that I will be including in my sales. And this is one that I posted. I have had the opportunity of selling a lot of Kurok in the past because anytime I come across it, I love to pick it up and sell it. And in some cases, I'm not even going to make that much money on it. It's one of those ideas of curating it to make sure it gets into the hands of somebody else who's going to love it, because some people don't see the value or don't understand what this is. So if you're not familiar with Kurok, it is, and this is why sometimes people don't think it's anything special. It was invented in the 50s, and it's a phenolic resin. So it's a really fancy way of saying it's a black plastic. So people think, oh, it's plastic. It's like Melmac or something. It's nothing special. Well, what makes it special, and this goes for every piece of Kurok that's created, every item, every image that is created is done by an inlay of metal or wood or stone. And what's cool about it is I've had the opportunity of carrying multiple pieces of the same design, including this owl. And each one, although it has the same shape, each one will look a little bit different because it depends on how the artist represented and what materials they use to make the actual owl. So this one is an 8¾ inch diameter bowl. It's a shallow bowl, but it's definitely more of a bowl than a plate. And this one happens to still have the Kurok label on the back. So Kurok is unique. Kurok serving pieces are cherished gifts because of their variety and beauty of designs. Hand inlaid by master craftsmen, shells, coins, woods, and metals are fused into satin black phenolic. They are impervious to alcohol and boiling water, washed with soap, mild soap and water. And it was by Kurok, Monterey, California. So we're getting into the late mid-century modern. They were basically created, I think they existed, through the 80s, if I remember correctly. So it's harder sometimes to know exactly when one was made because the patterns carried through most of that time. Owls were pretty popular in the 70s, so you're moving maybe into boho. But Kurok is just a collection in and of itself, and their sales pitch. I always love huckster sales pitches. Any tray can serve a drink. Only a Kurok can start a conversation. And so when you have serving pieces of Kurok, that's what they were sold, is you have the most unique piece in your collection that you put some chips in here, which is totally doable. You can use these to their heart's content. And people are going to be like, whoa, what is that? Because it is super cool. So we've got the phenolic. Oh, we want to show the back. So it does have the original label. And that is the logo. And I think there are ways of knowing when the dates are based on the logo, but those I haven't figured out. But it does say Monterey, California. So that is the back for whoever was asking. And I would agree with Delbert, you probably don't want to put it in the dishwasher. One of the tricks, and I found this online, and it does work. Sometimes they'll get kind of a dullness to them. Literally get the cheapest olive oil you can find and just set a piece in the bowl of olive oil overnight, and that oil will soak into the resin and all the inlays. And when you then dry it off, it does give it a really, really pretty sheen. So olive oil is your friend in this dishwasher, probably not so much. So for the owl bowl, it's $15. So $15 for the Kurok owl bowl. $15 by giving me number 86. $15.86 for the Kurok bowl.
I love Kurok, Patrick. I have a cheese dish that was my grandmother's. She actually used in all of her little parties and things she had, and you put the crackers around and the cheese in the middle, and it's just awesome. So Kurok makes some great things. Now, the next item I have for you, I think is really pretty cool. And this is the modern method of preparing delightful foods. Now, this was written by Ida Bailey Allen. And Ida Bailey Allen is pretty cool. She was known as the national homemaker. She was born in 1885 in Connecticut, and she was a chef, and she wrote more than 50 cookbooks. So she was pretty well known amongst her time and wrote a lot of really, really great cookbooks, including, it says here that she wrote the Your Foods and You, The Role of the Diet, and also Mrs. Allen on Cooking Menu Service. So she seemed to be kind of the authority of cookbooks. Now, this cookbook is the third printing, but it was originally copyrighted in 1927. Look at that old phone number in there. How cool is this? This is from the Quality Wakefield shop. They sold this book here, and it's the modern method of preparing delightful foods. And the graphics on the cover, guys, is absolutely amazing. Look at this. I mean, you can't beat these old graphics with a stick. And there is a little wear to the spine, but overall, from something being from the 20s or 30s, this is an amazing condition. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of the recipes that are in here. This actually has some pretty good recipes, so not the normal Jell-O stuff that I usually eat. This has a recipe for waffles, and I found this really, really cool because I was recently watching a show on, I want to say it was on Hulu, maybe it's on HBO Max. If Christy Garza is watching, she'll know which one I'm talking about. But they actually, in the show, have a recipe for waffles, and waffles and chicken were really, really big in the 30s, and people would eat them together. Now, I had no idea chicken and waffles went back that far, but they do. And so here's a recipe for the most delicious waffles you'll ever eat. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's got some cool graphics there. And then this also is cool. This is a recipe for béarnaise sauce. And I think some of these old classic recipes are really, really good. So I was excited to see that. I love béarnaise. It's good with steak. And then they've even got this, and this is the history of the old-time high tea. Now, I adore high tea. I've only gotten to do high tea twice in my life, but if I could do it again, it would be wonderful. So if you wanted to have a high tea party with your friends, this would be the book for you because it outlines what you need to do to have high tea. So it says things like, dreary rooms in those old cabins of colonial days, dark with rough log walls, the windows small, lest everyone enter. There was a little sunlight, and there were a few colorful bits. Only the brass kettles, highly polished, would pour with the finest tea. Tiny, medium, and large sandwiches, one for each child. And then it goes in about all the things that you can serve. So this is sort of the old-fashioned high tea. And it's got a little write-up there. And then in the back, this is pretty cool too, because it's not just your cookbook. It's also got some tips on removing stains. So it's got directions that will help for chocolate stains. Follow directions and moisten with cold water and cover with borax. Now, my grandmother really believes in borax, and I'll tell you, it does work for stains. For blood and fat stains, use soap and cold water. I can still hear my grandmother saying, soak that in cold water right away and it will get it out. And for ink and iron and rust, and it goes on, what you can use, bleaching and all kinds of fun little things. So this is actually a pretty helpful thing. And it's got all kinds of great recipes, including a recipe for classic birthday cake. So this book is amazing. It's nice and small. All the pages are in fantastic condition. So I think that this would be great displayed in your kitchen, open on a little book stand, or you can have this just to look at and actually cook from because the recipes do look really, really good. So for Ida's cookbook, you can have it for only $12. $12 for the cookbook from 1927 by giving me number 6. $12, number 6 for the cookbook.
I love that that's hard-sided. Most of the cookbooks that I've seen that are getting into that age are just they're soft covered or just the original paper. So that probably helped it stay together and probably in better condition. So that was a really cool piece. So my last item, number 86, the Kurok bowl, went to Winking Owl Antiques. So thanks so much, Barb, for picking that up. She said that she loves them, but she does not see them very often. She's also in Illinois, but she's in Southern Illinois, and I don't know why. I can't say I see them a lot, but I've probably sold dozen, 15 pieces in the last year and a half, sometimes on my live sale, sometimes when I had a antique booth, sometimes on my Etsy channel. And there's a collecting group all by itself. And what's really fun, if you're on Instagram, you can follow the hashtag, is you just start finding, sometimes you can get certain images that you really like, and you just suddenly say, wow, that looked totally different in that version than in this version. It's the exact same piece. So cool. Thanks, Barb, for picking that up. The next item is going into a little bit. I don't carry kitsch very often. This might be drifting into boho kitsch, but it is a set of hot pads. And I should have let me separate them. They're pinned together, so I didn't lose the two together. But I have the reverse image of the brown chocolate hot pad with the yellow eye and face, and then the yellow hot pad with the brown eyes and face. So they are then the opposite colors on the back. So they were clearly designed to go together. The fabric, or the yarn, is identical in each one, and they're both stitched with the exact same type of stitching. So they were clearly made together. They were sold to me together, so I am selling them together. These I didn't want to split up. They're very thick, I will just say. So I think they're probably more of a trivet hot pad as opposed to like a grabby. I mean, you can grab with it, but it is really, really thick. So I do think it's maybe more designed to be like a trivet, but there is a little hole to hang them. So you can actually hang these on your wall, so you can creep out all of your guests. So they are like, there you go, Peterson. They are like creepy Oreos. They're borderline clowns. They're trying to be the happy smiley face from like the 70s. It's kind of like the happy smiley face gone wrong. I don't know, but they just have kind of a coolness. It's coming across very, very dark. It is brown, not black. So it is coming across more like an Oreo, but it is a brown. So I do apologize that my lighting is kind of giving a little bit of a wrong impression. But that is a very, very, very dark brown yarn. But they clearly stay as a pair, whether you hang them back to back, make a really thick hot pad, whatever you want to do. You get both of them for $6. $6 for the creepy Oreo hot pads. $6 by giving me number 75. $6.75 for the pair of hot pad trivets.
Those are so fun, Patrick. I love the possibilities with those, and they're actually useful. I always need hot pads in my kitchen. Now, I'm going to go along with the kitchen theme, and I have some amazing embroidered Christmas tablecloths for you. Actually, I think these are placemats. Now, what's cool about these is these are very boho with the mushrooms, and I've never seen mushroom Christmas placemats, but whoever made these did such a fun job. So you have this red border. They've finished off the edges with this beautiful red border, and then they've hand embroidered all of these mushrooms. Now, how cool is that? I love this. And then you've got the candles. This is just so fun. Someone put in a lot of detail to this. Now, there is a little bit of wear to the...
Okay, wait a minute. Back the truck up. What is underneath the candle stuff? They're mushrooms?
They're mushrooms. I don't know what mushrooms have to do with Christmas, but...
That is crazy.
A new tradition, your Christmas mushroom tradition, and you can get these
with the Christmas candles. You had a whole different experience.
Yeah, you really could. It could be a wacky Christmas. So these have a little bit of wear to them just due to age, but I'm not laundering these because I want you guys to determine what you want to do as far as laundering them. I usually will soak linens in Biz. I love Biz. I think Biz is the best way to get out stains. So Biz in cold water. And
what's wrong with them? I didn't see anything when you were holding it up. Is it torn? Or is it
it's just a little yellowing due to age, okay. But nothing that's unusual for these. All of the linen part is in fantastic condition. So these will be ready for your setting at Christmas, and you can have a wacky Christmas with your with your mushrooms. Last night, Pam was selling a very interesting piece to enjoy some wackiness, and so these can go with that if you got that piece. And this one also has a different design, but it has mushrooms on it too. So this is just so fun. I don't know who decided candles and mushrooms, but you've got a really, really fun little tablecloth that someone tablecloth. I keep saying tablecloth. These are placemats that someone hand embroidered. See, the wacky mushrooms are already getting to me.
Well, at least, okay, Leanne C is actually trying to bring us somewhat back into Christmas. She's saying they're stools for elves.
Okay, there we go. Listen, I like
that. You have a place for the little visiting elves to sit. Your elf on a shelf can sit on a shroom.
I like that. So yes, you can have little elves or fairies. You can make this fun. And this one's got a name embroidered on it. The other one does not. And I've been trying to read this. I even zoomed this in my camera up close to try to see if I could figure out what it says. I think it says Hellinge. So can you guys see what that says? There's an H, an E, an I, and then there's a G and an E. So I think that's somebody's name. I don't think that's the company that made this. It's definitely hand embroidered because you can see the threads on the back where someone made this. I'm not sure whose placemat this was, but it's really fun with the Christmas mushrooms.
Can you show the back of that hinge? Can you show the back again?
I can show the back again. Let's see if you guys can see what that says. There's the back.
That looks almost too detailed to be, in my opinion, it's almost too detailed to be done. Well, the candle, I think, is definitely done by hand. That's got that.
Yeah, I think that's done by hand. Well, maybe this isn't.
Yeah, that one, I'm wondering if that's the name of the manufacturer of the linen.
It might be. Now, there is a tag that does say that you can wash this in cold water.
Darlene is saying Heinz, H-E-I-N-Z-E. Is that possible? Kylie's saying fringe, but I do think the first letter was H.
No, I think it's an H. Yeah, it could be Heinz, although this looks like a G. I'm pretty certain that's a G, but maybe I'm wrong.
I could see it being a Z.
But maybe it is a Z.
I don't know.
Well, it can be whatever you guys want it to be.
It's the name of the elf that's using the mushroom to sit on.
That's right. It's for your wacky elf mushrooms. So these two placemats can be yours. The embroidered Christmas placemats for only $8. We're going to call them the Magic Mushroom placemats. And they're number 8. $8, number 8 for the fun placemats with the mushrooms.
Oh, that's a great price for those. That'd be $8 each. So good price. Those are fun. Just to think of the stories you can entertain your guests with. All right. So number 75, my pot holders, my Angry Oreo pot holders I went to Angela from Dear Angela. So thank you, Angela, for picking those up. My next item is, again, I pulled this so I could have it in Katie's sale because this falls into something she is more familiar with. We've got my little homage to Rusty, Crusty, and Dusty. It is an oil can. Now, I came across this. I actually just picked this up recently. Did a road trip through Missouri last week, and I'd never seen this shape before. And then once I saw it in like 7 different places. So I don't know. I've never seen them here in Illinois. So I don't know if this is a regional thing. Maybe Barb, do you see these down in Southern Illinois? Because I know you're closer to Missouri than I am. But I just think this has a super cool form. So you've got the red, kind of chippy paint coming off of that, some great industrial. And then you just got this cool silhouette with the handle down here and then the spout nozzle up here. It sits very nicely, so it doesn't tip over. You don't need to weight it or anything, although you can if you choose to. I can't imagine you're going to use it to oil, but this would just be a great, cool silhouette in the back of an industrial display. If you do an industrial Christmas, hang your hubcaps and this on your tree. This just looks cool, and I'm passing it on. So it is available, the little red metal oil can, for $10. $10 for the little rusty, crusty, and oily oil can. $10 by giving me number 90. $10, number 90 for the little silhouetted oil can.
Oh my gosh, Patrick, that is so cool. I love that piece. All hail the rusty, crusty, and dusty. I love those kinds of pieces. They're just amazing. I'm so glad that Carrie, KCATX, is picking up the wacky Christmas mushroom placemats. Congratulations, Carrie. You're going to have a lot of fun with those. Now, the next item I have is in honor of Patrick. He loves his pottery and porcelain, and so I have a piece of Royal Worcester. This is fine porcelain in the box. It is so cool that you actually find these in the box. I don't see them that often with the original packaging. And this is an egg coddler. It does have the instructions in it. This is a really, really beautiful piece of porcelain. Now, Royal Worcester has a pretty interesting history. They were started in 1751 by Dr. John Wall and apothecary William Davis, and they worked hard to create a formula for porcelain, and then they became a really well-known manufacturer of fine English porcelain. So this is Royal Worcester. Now, I did date this piece because if you look on the bottom, you'll notice that it has a little R in the circle, and when you find the R in the circle, that dates it to the 90s. Now, usually Royal Worcester, for some of their earlier pieces, will have little dots or letters. And the letters and the dots can help you determine the date of your Royal Worcester pieces. So if you go online, there's a great website through a historical museum to date Royal Worcester. That's a little hard tongue twister, but this is an egg coddler. And so what you do is you fill this with boiling water, and then you can cook your egg dishes in it. And it still has the lid that is just in perfect condition. There's no chips or cracks to this. It's very clean on the inside, so you can make your own coddled egg dishes. Now, this is actually a particular pattern that's a little harder to find. This is Evesham. I don't know that I'm saying that pattern correct. It may be Evesham or Evesham, but that's the pattern name. It's got your fig. Well, no, I think that this is a peach. Your peach and your berries. But it's a really beautiful piece for fall. I think for Thanksgiving, this would be great on your table. I mean, you can use this for anything. You don't have to use it for coddling eggs. You could put your sugar in this. You could put something fun on your table for all of your pieces that you're going to do for Thanksgiving. So it's just really a fun little fall themed item. Now, it does come in the box, and you've got the instruction manual here with some really cool graphics. So there's Royal Worcester coddled egg recipes. And what I think is cool is that it's got all these amazing graphics, and then it's got egg recipes. So if you actually wanted to try coddled eggs yourself, you can. And there's some basic recipes here. So you've got your farmhouse egg. And now these all have different languages, which I think is pretty cool. So you've got some, looks like French. So this also comes in English and French. And maybe, is this German maybe? I don't know, but you've got all the different languages and then your recipes. So there's 3-minute eggs, cheesy egg, eggs with herbs. I mean, all of these recipes look really, really good. And this seems like something that would be really easy to make. So I would give this a try as an egg coddler. And you've got your information on Royal Worcester. So you're going to get the egg coddler, basically new in box and great condition with lid, perfect for fall. And you're going to get this for only $15. $15 for the Royal Worcester Evesham egg coddler by giving me number 2. $15, number 2, for the egg coddler.
Okay, a couple of notes. It's Royal Worcester, so we'll start with that.
I'm saying that wrong.
So it's less of a tongue twister than you're making it. Evesham is a region in Worcestershire. So where Royal Worcester is based, in Worcestershire is the region called Evesham. So that's the pattern. And then coddled eggs, that is actually a double egg coddler. So you would actually, you fill the, you put the eggs inside the cup, cover it. And so it's really important that that cover fits really nicely because you don't want there to be a leak. So then you put the egg in there, seal it, boil water around it. So you actually put those in your boiling water, and that's why there's that little ring at the top. So then you can pick it up out of the water, and then that's what cooks your eggs. So you can,
Oh,
and you
smart.
can add other stuff, like you can add ham. There's like there are all those different recipes. So my daughter and I actually have a collection of them, and every once in a while we'll try and do something different. And there's single and there's double, and what you actually have is the double one. So
Oh, interesting. Thanks, Patrick.
yeah, so very good. All right, so my last item was the oil can. I had no takers on that, so that is still available. My next item is I have off and on over some of my live sales showed some ephemera that I picked up, and a lot of it came from one specific estate sale. And some of my favorite items have been coming out of that. There was just some really cool, really old newspapers and magazines, and I've been kind of selling them off and on. And what I have tonight is kind of a mixed lot, and it's some of the oldest pieces in the collection, but unfortunately there are some issues to condition. So the first one, it's a set of 3 magazines. This first one is the 1902 edition of the Literary Digest. This is probably the best condition of the 3 that I've got. The spine is actually still intact. The staples are still there. It's really like there's a little bit of roughness around the edges, but for the most part, it's pretty tight. This also happens to be the only issue of this magazine that I have, so it was kind of like a loaner. So I put this into the set. So this is the Literary Digest from September 13th, 1902. It was sent to Mount St. Mary's Seminary. I don't know where that was. It was issued by the Funk and Wagnalls Company, which the only thing I know about Funk and Wagnalls is it's the only famous, that and an author, the only 2 famous alumni that came out of my Wittenberg University where I went to college. So Funk and Wagnall are from Wittenberg. The inner set of pages has separated from the staples, but it's not like I can't get it open. I don't think there's anything special in the center. Like there's no actual image or anything, but so it is starting to separate, but the staples are still there. So it must've just been tugged. There's, articles of the religious world, Matthew Arnold's theology, the present status of Roman Catholicism in the church, the German crown prince and an American girl, so there's foreign topics, there's cartoons, and then there's the ads. And sometimes the ads just have these great fonts, these great illustrations. The Prudential, back in the days when the Prudential insurance still was, illustrating the strength of Gibraltar. That's implied now, but that's, it's been around for a really long time. The Mental Savings Bank, a library filing cabinet. There's just some great ads in here that, linen underwear, Belfast mesh. It's just one of these cases that I'd hate to see it broken apart, but because there's already starting to be some separation, these are legitimately great options for junk journals because it needs to give them another life. It needs to do something to keep the importance. So you've got the Literary Digest from 1902. You then have the Household magazine from 1927. You can see this one has a little bit more issues. The spine has had a little bit of damage. There's some more discoloration to the paper itself, but it's got poems, some great illustrations around the family table, a lot of articles. This one's also had it looks like it somehow got caught on something. So the first several pages are torn. So again, we've got some issues going into it, but we've got City Gas Convenience, The Kitchen Cook. Again, there's some great ads in here from just a long ago time. There's even Cream of Tartar. There's some color. They even have spot color in some of their ads. So we got Cream of Tartar. There's even the subscription form to get your own issue. Life portraits for 98 cents. So you just got all these great ads. So that's a large format Household magazine, 1927. And then the Scientific American from 1882. Yes, there was science in the 19th century. So we've got the 1882 edition. This one at some point got taped, but it was taped a very, very long time ago because you can see how much discoloration that tape has had. The entire back is just a series of ads. So you've got liquid paints, ejectors, wire ropes. Oh, look, a trunk down elephant.
Hey.
Thumbs up for trunk down right there. That just tripled the value right there. Pressure moderator. And then on the inside, you've got illustrations for patents, for designs, the new magnetic exploder, a curiously worn hammer handle. There's just scientific stuff. There's plants. Maybe there's mushrooms in here. Who knows? So this is the March 25th, 1882 issue. So we've got 19th Century Scientific American, 1920s Household Magazine, and 1902 Literary Digest. You get all three of them for $10. So $10 for the 3 sets of newspapers / magazines. $10 for all 3 by giving me number 81. $10, 81 for all 3.
Oh my gosh, Patrick, those are fabulous. The graphics, the type font. Oh, I'm in love. And thumbs up for trunk down. And the egg coddler went to Fatbird Fine. So thank you, Laura and Mary Beth. Now, the next item I have has some great graphics. And this is a 1974 Golden Around the World calendar. It was sold for $1. And it's got its little hole here for hanging. And it says, with language fun and travel facts. Now, this is so cool because when you open this up, not only are the graphics are amazing, but you've actually got some cool history about the places that you are traveling. And the first one that's in the calendar is Argentina, which is one of my favorite places to visit. They have some amazing empanadas, and I loved my time in Argentina. So this has your January 1974, and it teaches you different language. So here it says, good morning, Buenos Aires. And it's got all of the different language. And of course, here they have meat pies, which is called an empanada, which is delicious. They actually stuff them with different types of meat and cheeses. And the one I had green olives, onions, and ground beef. Oh, it was to die for. So I really love empanadas, and it was so cool seeing it represented on this calendar. And then you've got Russia. And look at the graphics on this, you guys. How cool is this? And then it's got February, and it's got the bear, and then it teaches you what that is in Russian, and some different foods, and about the hats, and there's Sputnik, so you can definitely tell the age of this. Let's see, on this page, there is Ireland. There you go, Peterson, Ireland. And look at all of the graphics on this. I mean, the graphics really are to die for. I love the 4-leaf clover on the bottom. Look at the little boy with the balloons. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these because I'm probably going to butcher the language. Austria, look at that. Austria for Patrick. Love, love, love the graphics on this. This is for May. Look at the little car and the boy. I mean, how cool is this calendar? Now, here's France, and I love the little Eiffel Tower. Now, this one says, hello, bonjour, and then goodbye is, let's see if I can pronounce this, au revoir. Oh, I'm probably doing a horrible job.
Au revoir.
Say that again, Patrick.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Yeah, French is not my key either, but
I'm not.
Trusty is Russian, so
I can speak a little bit of Spanish. I was conversing with someone during Pamela's sale in Spanish, so I'm a little bit more fluent in Spanish. I took 4 years of Spanish than I am any other language. But look at the chocolate mousse. Now I can probably say this. Mousse à chocolat. I think I can probably get that a little bit better. And then merci. Thank you. So this is just such a cool calendar. Now, if you flip to the back, it's got the world map on it. And look at the little graphics there.
Oh, my God. That's so cool.
That is awesome. And you've got your ship. And then you've got the little places. You got Russia and Ireland and Japan and Israel. You got New York. Look at the Statue of Liberty there. Hawaii. Look at your little dancing Hawaiian girl. This is just so cool. And you've got some animals and count to 10 in English and then in different languages. Yeah.
Is there a New Zealand on the map, Katie?
Oh, now that's a good question. No, I think it's just Australia. New Zealand is missing. What is
we have to apologize to THMvintage that we basically Statue of Liberty has taken over Canada as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, THMvintage. But what is with New Zealand not being on the map? Come on, people, get it together. New Zealand's important. Look, New Zealand's not even in the book. Well, they do have Kenya. Kenya's here, but sadly, Nate, you're not represented in the around the world calendar. So this calendar from 1974 with the amazing graphics can be yours for only $10. $10 for the golden around the world calendar by giving me number 11. $10, number 11 for the around the world calendar.
So I was looking up really quick because somebody had just said it reminded them of It's a Small World. So
Yes, it does.
So the calendar was from 1973, right? It was a 1974 calendar, so it was created in 1973, and It's a Small World opened in 1971. So
wow,
there may be some relation to how some of the graphics were picked because it would have been a brand new thing.
It may be very, very interesting. Great graphics, though.
That's when it opened actually in Disney World. There may have been a Disneyland issue or version before that. I was just looking really quick. But anyway, so my last item, number 81, the lot of papers went to Catherine Young. Would I remember? She also purchased some of my other old ephemera. So I'm glad that, and she's got a collection. She framed some of it. So I hope these will look good in your collection. So thanks, Catherine, for picking those up. And as we said in the back, that one ad was the trunk down elephant. Thumbs up for trunk down. We're on a dedicated, Katie and I are on the effort to give love to all the trunk down elephants because everyone wants their trunk up Viagra induced brethren. Sometimes not everyone can be excited. So I have another trunk down elephant.
Yay.
So what we've got here, and thanks to Nate, I did this in a haul video and Nate did some digging and he found this. It is an L.E. Smith trinket box. It doesn't say it's a trunk down elephant, but it is. And everyone is calling it black amethyst. And you're not gonna be able to tell from here. I had looked and I said, no, it wasn't. It's just black glass because I was looking through the glass. What I did not think to do was look through where his trunk is. And there is actually a purple tone just where the underside of his trunk is. So this is black amethyst. Everyone insists that all black glass is black amethyst, and I don't think that's always true. But in this particular case, it is black amethyst. So it is absolutely great little piece. It's just a small trinket dish. It's not marked L.E. Smith, but we did find some examples, including a uranium glass example. This one obviously is not. This one does have a couple flea bites around the edges. That once it's in place, you can't notice, but I definitely want to make sure that you're aware of that. The top of the box is actually in pretty good condition. It's just where as you put the lid down, gets a little bit of flea bites, little nibbles along the edges. But it's a great looking piece. It is a trunk down elephant. They don't come up very often. That was why I couldn't find it. Nate found some really old examples that had sold. And so it is now available for $30. So the L.E. Smith black amethyst trunk down elephant trinket box is $30. $30 for number 62. $30.62 for the elephant box. Thumbs up for trunk down.
Oh my gosh, Patrick, that is an amazing piece. Can't believe you found that. And black amethyst glass is really cool. But you're right, not all black glass is actually black amethyst. Some is just black pressed glass, but that is just so cool. Now, since Nate was not represented on that last calendar, so bad for New Zealand that they can't put them on the map, I'm going to represent Nate now. I have a really cool piece of Wedgwood for you, very near and dear to Nate's heart. And this features the famous Winston Churchill. So this is a commemorative plate, and it says on the back, Churchill Centenary. So this is celebrating his birth year, 1874 to 1974. So this plate is from 1974 to commemorate the birth of Sir Winston Churchill, the 30th of November, 1874. And then it has a wonderful quote from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. It says, enthusiastic in debate and adversary and generous in triumph. So really awesome plate with your mark, and it is marked Wedgwood, made in England. You notice that this is not spelled with an E, so this is a legitimate Wedgwood, and it's got the made in England mark on the bottom. It's incised. And you've got this amazing black piece of Wedgwood with the gold around the outside, all with Winston Churchill. Now, how cool is this plate? This is a limited edition collector's plate, so there's not many of these out there. When I was looking them up, I see a lot of them coming from England that are for sale, but there are none for sale currently in the US. So this is a pretty special piece, and of course, it's really cool that I can represent Nate with some amazing Wedgwood that isn't just your standard blue. So this is, as Nate's saying, 1974 Wedgwood, Sir Winston Churchill. It is amazing. I love black Wedgwood. I just think it's beautiful, and with that gold, it's just stunning. Now on the outside of the plate, it says author, statesman, soldier, and artist. And then Sir Winston Churchill. This is in absolutely perfect condition. No chips, no cracks, no issues. This would be great in a plate stand or on your dresser, because this really would make a statement piece. So you can have this Wedgwood plate for a very reasonable price at only $18. $18, and you don't have to pay international shipping for $5. $18, number 5. $18, number 5. For the beautiful Sir Winston Churchill plate. And yes, it's basalt ware, as Nate is saying. It's not particularly common.
All right, so the push to continue to find love for the trunk down elephants will continue, because I had no takers on the L.E. Smith black amethyst elephant trinket box, so that is still available. I have my own homage to Nate, and I mean this in the most love, because Nate cannot be more loved by me. He lives in New Zealand, and there are more sheep in New Zealand than there are people. So we've got little boy blue, come blow your horn, the sheep's in the meadow, the cows in the corn. Now, I don't know if they have any cows in New Zealand, but, you know, the sheeps are overrunning the meadow and taking over the world. So we've got this little porcelain bank. It is an UNESCO Japan bank. And I had looked this up, but I can't find my note on it. There's a date on here. 1987 is the date of this bank. The original rubber stopper is still in the bottom. The original gold foil is still in the bottom, UNESCO Japan. And it is decorated on both sides. Yeah, 26 million sheep. There you go, Nate. So little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cows in the corn. So we got the little boy. You know, let's see. Can we look? Do we see a little Nate likeness there? I don't know. I don't think Nate was ever a blonde. But we've got the cows hanging out in the bushes, and they're the sheep. And then you've got the spine. It's from the Mother Goose series. So little boy blue. So it is a bank. I don't know if then it's like it's wedge shaped. So I don't know if you would have had multiple banks. Like I'm wondering if there were others from part of the Mother Goose series. So maybe this was something you could collect, but they wouldn't necessarily sit on the bookshelf side, spine out. They would just, you know, show. And so it's just a little shape of a book. It's just a really cute bank. It's in absolutely perfect condition. No chips, no cracks, no flea bites. So it's a great little Mother Goose bank for $8. $8 for the porcelain UNESCO bank. $8 by giving me number 72. $8.72 for the little boy blue bank.
Oh, I love those sheep, Patrick. I've always loved sheep ever since I've seen them in the fields in England and Ireland. It was so great seeing the sheep. And I remember my tour guide, the guy that was driving us through Ireland, he said to us, well, there's a lot of sheep here. And I was asking him about, you know, if they get stuck in the road and that kind of thing. He goes, well, sheep are not very bright. All they do is eat and walk about. I'll never forget that. All right, folks. So for all of you guys still here, we are going to do a mystery box. I'm so excited about this. Now, this is actually a mystery box that's going to be all ephemera. So I have 2 mystery boxes available, and they're going to be filled with vintage and antique ephemera. And let me tell you guys, I have some really amazing ephemera. You're not going to want to miss out on this. So I am going to follow suit with Fatbird Finds' method of doing mystery boxes, and now Patrick's. I think it's a very clever way to do them, and it's so fun that you guys can play along, and it's really the fairest way, I think, for everyone to have a shot at these mystery boxes. So the first 2 people that will guess the number, you got to guess the number between 1 and 15. 1 and 15 will get the mystery ephemera box for only $12. For only $12 for the mystery ephemera box. So we're going to wait for Nate. So Nate is going to be here and he's going to help. Now he cannot be bribed. So Nate knows the number in advance, but he cannot be bribed. And oh, I already see it out of the gate.
Yep.
I see the first person to guess this. Wow, wouldn't that be wild, Patrick, if that actually was the person?
Yep.
It would be so wild.
Get the riot gear on.
Yes, and so make sure, guys, that you are continuing to refresh. Oh, I should have said that before we guess the number, but refreshing does help you stay up to date with the feed. And yes, Nate got it. Carrie, you got the mystery box. Now there is still one mystery box available, so we have two. So the first two people that type in number 15 will get the mystery.
I didn't see another person type it in.
I didn't. So honestly, I think Carrie has the opportunity to get both because the number was number 15. So, oh, okay. I see a Berkeley girl coming in with that number. But you guys are amazing. Now, the funny thing about Carrie is she has had the perfect mental telepathy last couple of weeks because she's been guessing all the mystery boxes. So the first person I saw was Carrie. And I don't know, Patrick, should I give her the chance to purchase two mystery boxes or should I give it to Berkeley girl?
Well, I think that Berkeley girl legitimately got it. I think she already knew the number at that point, but then she became the first person. It was kind of like you would announce the number and then she was the first person to enter it. So I think the legitimate one goes to Berkeley girl.
All right, so we got Carrie and Berkeley girl. So congratulations, Carrie and Katie. Awesome job on guessing the numbers, and a big congrats to Fatbird Finds for coming up with this fun method.
Yes, absolutely. I love that they did that, and it's fun to do them at that lower price point because then, you know, I've had a lot of people, and Carrie's one of them. I've had a lot of people they will try and get every time because they say they're fun. So hopefully, I know there's a lot of people in the chat that received my mystery boxes, so I hope you enjoy them. I always like when I see they bid on another one because then it's like, oh, good, they did like it. So they want another one. So, all right, my last item, the porcelain sheep bank had no takers, so that is still available. My next item, wouldn't really necessarily say rusty crusty, but we've got a piece of metalware that definitely is showing a little bit of its age. You can see there's a little bit of paint loss on the top. I don't think this qualifies as enamel. I think this literally is just a piece of aluminum or a piece of tin. It is the grease waste trap. And I remember when I had this on my haul video, a lot of people were commenting like whether they had grease jars growing up. I never did. So this is kind of a new thing to me. This has a little strainer on it. So I guess that once you started filling it up, you could pour the hot grease out and all of the little stuff would stay in there. So I know that like in canister sets and things like that, the grease is the one that tends not to stick around because it gets used the most and it gets damaged the most. This one's, it'd be hard to break it, but we definitely have a little bit of paint loss. And I tried to clean the top of this, but I think this was in a greasy location and the top of this is showing a little bit of, it's not sticky, but there's texture that you don't actually feel on the sides. But I was just trying soap and water to take it off and it didn't come off. So I don't know. I didn't want to do anything heavier because I was afraid of taking off more of the paint. But I figured, you know what? It's supposed to have this kind of a little rusty, crusty, dusty look. And there you go. You've got it. So it's this little grease. It is got the little form on the bottom that says it was made in Taiwan. So we're probably 70s, era. So we've got the little grease pot with its lid, and it is available for $8. So $8 for the little yellow grease jar, $8 by giving me number 77. $8.77 to relive everyone's childhood that said they grew up with drippings jars.
That is a great find, Patrick, because you don't find a lot of the grease jars anymore. I think they're becoming a bit harder to find, and that yellow color is great. I actually still use a grease jar, but I mainly use it just to store the grease before I can discard of it so it doesn't mess up my disposal. I don't actually cook with the grease from the grease jar anymore like my dad does, but I do love a good scrambled egg cooked after you've cooked some bacon. That is pretty delicious. Now, the next item that I have for you is really unique, and this is kind of in honor of Nate, although this is Australia, so I know how Nate feels about the difference between Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand will always rule. But this is a really amazing scarf, and this is probably from the 50s. I was doing some research. This is designed in Australia by Heel. Heil or Heel, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Now, he was a designer that designed a lot of vintage souvenir scarves for Australia. And this one has the adorable kangaroo and the little baby in the pouch. And it's just got some amazing graphics on it in the yellow and brown color. And I just love this scarf. It does have its original tag. Here's the tag. It says Heel. And this is so fun to actually wear. Now, you could use this as a wall hanging if you wanted to. These are great for that because you can hang it like this, and this would be really cool behind a couch or a bed. You could get this framed. But I'll show you a trick. If you want to fold this scarf and wear it, it's long enough to wear it as a fun little headscarf. So all you have to do is fold it like a triangle and then just roll it up, and you could be the coolest fashion person in your office with a little headscarf. You could wear it like that, like Belle, or you can tie it around this way and you can actually wear it tied, and then you could do a little brooch. So you really would have a beautiful little scarf to wear. That would be so fun. You can remember either your trip to Australia or just enjoy something really cute from Australia. There's many possibilities with these vintage scarves, and this is a very collectible name. Heel made a lot of great tourist scarves for Australia, and this is only $8. $8 for the vintage scarf by giving me number 12. $8, number 12 for the amazing vintage scarf.
That's so cute, and it's such great condition for something that would be of that age. So and I love the fact that not only the kangaroo, but the little baby kangaroo, which is called a Joey. So we got the little Joey in the mama kangaroo. So that's cute.
Yeah.
That still has the tag on it, so you could trace all that down. So
the cool. Joey is adorable.
And Nate, you know Australia, they're the ones that make the map. You're not. You know, you'll figure that one out. All right, my last item for this evening is a little piece I showed in one of my haul videos that I will admit I picked it up somewhat in error because I had found a collection of these little poker, little suits of card, little trinket dish. So I don't think it's necessarily an ashtray because there's no specific place. There's none of those little curves, the little crescents of where the ashtray is supposed to be, but it might be an ashtray. It might be like a little bridge set for like nuts or just like little snacks. I was looking at a number of them and they were dogs. And I was trying to find one that didn't have any damage. And I found one that didn't have any damage. And then I brought it home and I was unpacking. I realized it's not a dog. So I suddenly lost the dog and picked up a bunny rabbit. Now, there's nothing wrong with a bunny rabbit, but the reason I was trying to find the dog, if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm in the process of planning for a Just One More Dachshund rescue fundraiser coming up in November. And so I'm always picking up dog items. And, well, that ain't a dog. So I'm selling it here instead. So we've got this. It's just a little made in Japan. Still got the little stamp on there, made in Japan, little dish. There you go, Bun. We've got Vinny and his little, actually not so little bunny rabbit. So we've got the little luster on the rabbit, but there's no luster on the dish itself. So I don't know if it would still be considered lusterware, but you can see there's a little bit more on the bunny rabbit. He's actually in very good condition. It's why I picked him up. I just kind of neglected to notice he was no longer a dog. So we've got the bunny poker dish, and it is available for $5. So $5 for the little made in Japan poker dish with the bunny rabbit on it. $5 by giving me number 52. $5, 52 for the little bunny rabbit trinket nut dish.
That is adorable, Patrick, and I love things with the playing card graphics on it. So I think that would be so fun, especially if you had a little card table to put that on and serve your cashews in for your next card game. We had no takers on the scarf, so I'll put that aside. But I do have an amazing set of linen postcards for you. Now, this is from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And what's cool about this is actually one of the postcard folders. And I just love this. The graphics on this are fabulous. And this is still in amazing condition. It's never been used. So it's souvenir folder of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And you've got the place for the stamps with the amazing graphics on it. And then it's got a beautiful view here from bird's eye view, Eureka Springs. Now, I did look this up, and I wish I could show you a photo. I should have printed it out, but this is a little bit different today than this would have been back in the day. There's a few buildings that don't appear to be there, but this is just gorgeous, and I love the graphics on it. You've got your place for the from Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and then you have all of the postcards inside that fold out that have all of your pictures, which is really fun. So this one is from Crescent Hotel, Catholic Church, and Carnegie Library from East Mountain, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And I didn't Google each of these places individually, but that would be fun for whoever gets this, is to Google it and see if it's still there and if you could visit it, because this would be a really great way to plan a trip to Arkansas and see if some of these places still exist. This one's Basin Park Hotel, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And they're double-sided. That's kind of the neat thing about this. So if you flip it around, each postcard or a little image here has a different image on the back. So you really can have a lot of fun researching this. And this is Crescent Hotel. So there's the Crescent Hotel. This one is Highway Scene. And it's just so beautiful. I mean, this looks like a very classic scenic drive. I love the imagery on this. This is Lake Leatherwood. And look at that, guys. I mean, how cool are these old postcards? I just think they're amazing. The graphics on this are just to die for. And this is something that would be great in an ephemera bowl because it's rather stiff. So you could really hold up a lot of other items. It's not going to slide down when you're doing your ephemera bowl. And then there's some great graphics here for the Lakewood Dam. It says it's the largest cut rock dam in the world. Now, I don't know if that's still true, but at the time it was. And I think that these have some age to it. If you'll notice here, this is made by, let's see, A Good Place to Live, made by the Kurt Tech Company out of Chicago, Illinois. And then there's an advertisement here for Glades Plumbing and Electrical Shop in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And there's no zip code. So I really do think this is before 1963. And you can just tell the paper's got some age to it. It seems a lot older. It's in great condition. There's some interesting information here about Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Supreme Health Resort in the Ozarks. And it's got some great information there. And then every image is different on the back. And when you fold it out, it kind of creates this fun imagery of Arkansas. So if you know anyone in Arkansas, or you collect vintage postcards, or you want something fun for your ephemera bowl, this is it. And it still folds, so you can make your nice little postcard souvenir folder. And this is in one great little nice package, and it would be fun to research some of those places. And if you do find out about them, tag me on Instagram, because I'd love to know. And for the Eureka Springs, Arkansas postcard folder, you can have it for only $6. $6 for the linen postcard folder by giving me number 10. $6, number 10 for the vintage postcard folder.
And Barbie looked up that publishing company and said it was published from, there you go, 40s and 50s.
40s and 50s, yeah.
I would guess was the 50s.
But that's amazing. Yeah, that scenic drive looks very 50s to me.
Yeah. All right, so that was actually I had all the items that I had available. So what I have left that did not sell, if anyone wants to see anything, I had the Allie Smith, the elephant box, the new old stock of the kitchen, the almond extract box, the porcelain bank, and the oil can. So if anyone would like to see any of those, put a note in the chat and I can show those. But other than that, but I didn't announce the last two that sold, so I apologize. So the 52, the poker ashtray, the little bunny rabbit, that went to Catherine Young. So thank you, Catherine, for picking that up. And I forgot to announce that the aluminum grease jar went to Susical. So thank you. That was number 77. So thank you for picking up that as well. So these are the pieces behind me. I had one left. The Fireman cake topper was still available. So the Fireman, the paper almond extract, the elephant box, the oil can, and the porcelain bank.
Jennifer Miller picked up my last item, so thank you, Jennifer. Great items tonight, Patrick. I do still have the Washington postcards available, the linen postcards, and we do think that this one's a little bit older. Patrick had some great information about the height of that cherry tree, and I really do think that that is definitely older because they would be a lot taller now. So that is beautiful. I also have the Wedgwood Churchill plate still available. So this is still available for $18 if you'd like the beautiful basalt Wedgwood. Number 5, the postcards were $7. Number 9, that is still available. And I've got the salt and pepper shakers, the vegetable Japan salt and pepper shaker pair, still available for only $10. $10 by giving me number 13. So those are the items I have left, and you can always email me later if you think about it, you see something you like. I'm so glad you joined us, Patrick. Oh, I got you, Fatbird Finds.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I got you down. So thank you so much. It'll be easy to add to your order. So Patrick, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun.
And I really appreciate you having me on here. And then you want to talk about our change in schedules, what's going to happen next week?
Absolutely. So we have announced at the beginning of the show that we've got a scheduling change. It is so fun, and I'm very excited about it. Patrick and I have done a lot of thinking, and we are going to combine our shows. So Show and Tell and Deep Dives are now becoming Duo Dives, and the first episode of the Duo Dive will be on my channel next week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. So we will be rotating channels, and it will always be Wednesdays at 9:30. And then on Sundays, Patrick, what do we have going on that's going to be really fun?
So what's now happening, so this coming Sunday, so I know for the Americans it is a holiday, but hopefully people can make themselves available at 8 p.m. Eastern. So my normal deep dive time is now being converted to Tales from the Triptych, where we will be doing an investigation online showing websites, in eBay, Etsy, items for sale, exploring different topics. And this Sunday will be the first episode. We will be doing an exploration on Cambridge glass with Katie, myself, and the third member of the Triptych is our own soul Nate. So the three of us will be on my channel this Sunday, and then we will start alternating there as well. I will host, Katie will host, and then Nate will be hosting on his channel as well. So I'm looking forward to the first one of those this weekend. So that'll be on my channel this Sunday and Katie's channel next Wednesday. And then probably we won't necessarily rotate off and on, kind of depends on who's hosting what, but that's what's coming up next week. Oh, and I've got my regular sale tomorrow night too. So for people not familiar with my sales, I always have my sales on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on my channel, and that is still taking place tomorrow. This was just a little bonus. And again, thank you, Katie, for asking me to be a part of it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to join in on these two new shows. They're going to be a lot of fun, very interesting, and lots to learn. So I'm so glad that we can bring some education part to vintage as well, because that will be always fun. I love discovering new things. So if you did win something tonight, please make sure you send Patrick and myself an email. We cannot combine shipping because Patrick is shipping from Illinois and I am shipping from Florida. So the sooner you email us, the sooner we can get items out to you. Now, Patrick will be having a sale, as he mentioned, tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern. So he will be combining items from this sale and the sale on Thursday. Now, I will be shipping and getting all of my invoices out over the weekend. So look for invoices Sunday. Patrick, when will you be working on your invoices?
Thank you for pointing out. Yes, I will be combining anything that people purchase tonight. If they also purchase tomorrow, I will go ahead and combine together to ship together. So all of my invoices for both tonight's sale and tomorrow's sale will also go out over the weekend.
Wonderful. And a big round of applause to our very own Nate in the chat for putting in all the fabulous information throughout the show, and for Peterson being another expert moderator in the chat, putting in information and helping as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The sale was a lot of fun. We'll be seeing you for the new show and, of course, Patrick's sale tomorrow. And I hope, as always, you guys will stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody.